Hi, my name is Brook. I'm a guitar teacher in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I work with a lot of beginners and intermediate guitar players and those who played a little bit and forgot to practice or got busy with their families, and then they come back to guitar later in life. So I gear these little demonstrations for that level of player, and I'll pick maybe a topic and just have fun with it. Say like a good topic might be a G minor pentatonic scale. Pentatonic. Penta is 5, tonic means note, so it's a 5-note scale based around G minor tonality. It would work over a G minor chord. I'm also going to kind of blur this into a blues scale. So a G minor, you read about pentatonic scales all the time. It's very close to a blues scale. So we'll probably color outside of the line slightly. So the classic scale pattern, which you probably are really familiar with, is pretty basic, but it's still fun to practice. So that's your good old 6-3, 6-3, 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, 6-3. And a good thing to realize that is ending on the root note or a G. And from there you can play like a G power chord, a G minor chord, or something, or a G riff like or some G rock and roll rhythm guitar. So yeah, landing on the root or being aware of the root is kind of like crucial. And so you can go from high to low or low to high. Here's high to low. I'm going to play the highest note. And then you can work your way from low to high. And again, land on a G, 3rd fret, 1st string, just for resolution. You don't have to, but for training purposes, as I always say, land on that root for now, and we'll land on other notes later. There is another G note, which you're probably aware of, 4th string, 5th fret. So you might want to just review those root notes and make sure they sound in tune and realize that they are in the chord. So we could call those chord tones, but we're just trying to find the root notes. So you can make riffs out of this, like right? Yeah. So that's 3-3, 5-5, 3-3, 5-5, G G G G F F D D. And you can always swing it a little bit. Classic. That's in a lot of songs. That's probably the most basic riff you can think of. And then that rhythm guitar thing I was doing was... So that's a power chord. You probably know power chords. That's a root and a 5th, a G and a D. And then I'm adding a 6th interval. So that's a 3 and a 5 for frets. And then my pinky's hitting on the beat on the 7th fret of the 5th string. With that, you want to leave your fingers mounted or anchored. You don't want to pick them up. Yeah, just keep that power chord solid. So we got our scale in place, we know our roots, we know a riff, we know some rhythm. That's cool. How about a phrase? Something like... just real basic lead guitar, bluesy, rock and roll, whatever you call it. Roots music, that's like a root, flatted 3rd, 4th, then bend that 4th up to a 5th. Or we could say it this way, G, B flat, C, D. And then you can reverse it. I kind of bounce from the G down to F. So you can experiment and make your own phrases with that. It's kind of up to you to make it sound cool. If it just sounds really robotic and dull, you might need to maybe, I don't know, listen to some Stevie Ray Vaughan or something, or Jimi Hendrix, I don't know. You'll figure it out. Just make it cool. It does sound good to end on G, but you can end on other notes. And then, of course, you can work it down from there. And there's the flatted fifth. That's an evil note. So the fifth, you remember root and fifth, sounds very stable. If we flat that fifth, it sounds insane. I guess they call that a tritone. That would be an example of dissonance. And that usually wants to resolve somewhere, like. So that's a D flat note or a C sharp. If you want to make it sound weird, throw in that flatted fifth. Now if you land on it, it's going to be, you're going to get that nice disturbing quality. But if you keep moving, that note does less damage. Check it out. You don't really hear it if you keep moving. So, you know, resolving on the root is pretty safe. You can also resolve on the fifth. Let's see what that's like. Which is still part of the G chord. But it could also imply that you're going to the 5 chord or the D7. And that kind of might push you back to the root. You can land on the 4th, which kind of implies we're going to the C. Let's see if I can figure that out. C major or C minor or C7. Back to the root. There's the 5th, the D, the C, the G, to the D. So you can kind of like spell out the chord progression as you land on these different notes. So we were targeting the G, C, and D. G is the 1, C is the 4, and D is the 5. So that's when they say it's a 1, 4, 5 chord progression. G, C is 4, D is 5. Or yeah, man. So we're just barely scratching the surface. Within the scale, you can find 2-note shapes. And of course, my favorite is. And then you can add maybe this. Or. That's wicked. That's like a B flat and an E. That E is not even in the scale. But we can definitely kind of stray outside of the scale. You don't have to stay in the scale. You can get as weird as you want with this. Just get way out there, add any note you want, but just be aware that the scale is going to be maybe the safe zone, whatever. But that's kind of a. And then you got your. That's a 2-note deal on the 2nd and 3rd string, 5th fret. You can bend that. It's kind of sloppy and slurry and kind of messy sounding. Then I got these two notes at the 3rd fret, 2nd and 3rd strings, B flat and D. With those two notes, I like to sometimes pull it this way. There's another 2-note shape. That's within the scale. That's an F and a C. 6th fret and 5th fret, 2nd and 3rd strings. Man, you could just sit here all day and find little 2-note shapes. Some of them will sound a little bit abstract, and some of them will sound really, you know, maybe too predictable. So you control how you want to do it, right? There's tons of little 2-note shapes, 3-note shapes, probably some 4-note shapes in there. Well, you got a total of 6 strings, so, you know, any combination of 1 through 6 notes, you're going to find chords. A 2-note shape, I think you call that a dyad. A 3-note shape is a triad. I don't know what you call a 4-note shape. That's all right. Now, you can also expand out of this position. We're hanging out at the 3rd, 5th, and 6th frets. You can get a little 4th fret in there. So basically, 4 fret, 4 fingers, normal. But, of course, being the curious critters that we are, we want to kind of move out of there. Maybe that G, F, G is one of my first ideas. It sounds pretty cool, like a... Whoa, heavy. I missed. Simple, right? That really sounds pretty good, playing simple stuff, you know, and you don't have to play way beyond your level, which I don't. I try to keep it real simple when I play live. You know, imagine playing outside at maybe like a park on a flatbed stage, or, you know, a big stage, and you're playing for people in lawn chairs. Just something simple. You don't have to blow their heads off with, you know, if Eddie Van Halen jumped on stage and started playing Eruption, they'd probably all keel over, you know. It'd be nice, but to see him play, but really, sometimes just playing it kind of simple wins the race. So I was bending the 2nd string, 6th fret, F, up to G. And you might have noticed I hit that B flat down there, 5th string, 1st fret. That works really good with those other low notes. Not to go too crazy, but you can also put a major 3rd in there. You can make, this is sounding fairly minor, but if you want to warm it up and fit in with a major chord, just raise that B flat up to a B. And that would work with a G chord. Major. B. B flat makes it minor, because that's a flatted 3rd. The B natural makes it major, because it's a major 3rd. Like in a G chord, your middle finger's on the 3rd string, 4th fret B. And if you want to make it minor, just drop that off. So I got to remind I realize this is pretty basic stuff, but this is the stuff I got to go over with my students kind of repeatedly, and that's fine. You know, I want them to be lead guitar players. I'm not sure if they really want to do that, but man, lead guitar is really fun, and it's endless, man. And again, you can speed this stuff up and get some really tricky phrasing going, and you know, I call it Olympic level shredding. But for me, I think more like maybe Dwayne Eddy or Link Ray or something. You know, just really stripped down, minimalist. You know, just keep it really simple, and then you don't have to you don't have to work so hard, and it sounds cool. But you know, I expect you to, if you want to play fast, go for it. Speed it up, and you know, do some amazing arpeggios and shredding and tapping and pull-offs and hammer-ons and legato and all kinds of cool stuff. I love it. But for me, I just like to kind of pace myself a little bit. And when it's time to get busy, I will get busy with some faster stuff. But for now, let's just keep it kind of slow and easy. So I would memorize that G minor pentatonic scale, and let me know how it's going. Just keep in touch. I love hearing from you. Just tell me how it's going. If you would like to give me a thumbs up or a like, whatever you call it, subscribe, drop a comment, all that stuff. I don't care. I mean, I like hearing from you, but I don't want to put myself all over anybody. So it's up to you. If you want to subscribe, it would be very cool. And let's see, I got a student coming in here in a little bit, so I'm happy, focused, ready to see what they want to work on. And you know, maybe I can help some people, like my friends in Australia and the UK and Canada. Where else are we? New Zealand, Germany. I've got some friends in Japan, and I love hearing from all you guys. So check in. Sometimes let's see, where else? I hear from some people from South America once in a while. So that makes me super happy to hear you guys. It's amazing to be able to just hear from you. So check in. Even you can drop in with a different language, and I will translate it. All right. I'll try to reply. So this is Brook saying, keep practicing, and thanks again for stopping by. Adios.